Thank you everyone for joining us today here at Levittown Public Library. It's Monday, April 18th, 2022, and we are here with Kimberly for posture alignment. Go ahead, Kim.
Thank you, Hitomi and Levittown Library. Welcome back, everybody. I decided we're going to do a little different workout towards the end. Might get a little more sweat. It's springtime, so we want to get moving. Today, we're going to use a strap, a block, and a chair. We're going to do some step-ups later. So you want to have a good, strong, stable chair, maybe one from your dining room. Some of you guys who are new, though I don't see you, you might be watching this YouTube video later. Strap is going to be a belt. Do not use a PT rubberized piece of floppy rubber. You want a nice leather belt or something that's a strap, like a yoga strap. We want to have a lot of resistance. When you are going for the pillow stuff, when I say pillow, if you have a yoga block, great. If not, you're going to grab a pillow off of your bed and you're going to fold it in half because you want a lot of resistance. I can't compress this at all. A lot of resistance. We're going to start out today on the floor. We're going to do ankle circles, point flexes. Now, some of you guys who are new, again, I'm going to refer to you one more time. Never done this stuff before, then I want you to really, really pay attention to your body. That goes for everybody, actually. So if your body's giving you the signal that, hey, something is really wrong, something really hurts in the bad way, then you got to stop the move. I'll give you as many modifications as I can think of. So we're going to start out on the floor. We're going to do ankle circles, point flexes. So what you're going to do, if you can't get on the floor, is maybe go lay on a bed. Or you could do this in a chair too. But everybody who's on the floor with me, we're going to take the body nice and straight and long. When I lay down, I'm keeping my feet in line with my hips. So that's about a fist distance between my big toes. Everything stays in line. So when I pull my knee in towards my chest, the knee stays in line with the ankle and the hip. It doesn't dive out towards the side. You want to think about this when you're pulling in. And I understand some of you, ouch, some of you might not be able to pull your knee in. You might not even be able to reach your knee. So if that's a problem, take your strap, lop it around your leg, and hold your leg in if you can't reach your leg. But for me, I can do that. So we're pulling the right knee in nice and deep. I'm going to take the right ankle, the ankle only, through outward rotations. I like to do this with no shoes so that my toes can initiate the movement. We want to get movement throughout the entire region of the foot, but you don't want the knee to move. So I want you to keep your hands behind your knee so you can allow your knee that freedom to do so, but you have to keep the knee in place. The leg that's on the ground, I don't want it to be relaxed either. I want you to point your kneecap and your toes straight up towards the sky. So you're going to feel that in your hip as you take a slight internal rotation from the hip. One more caveat here is if you're doing this laying on the floor with me or on a bed, I don't want your heel to drop towards the floor. If you have your hand on your knee, you'll have a tendency to bend the knee way too much and the ankle drops towards your butt. We want your shin to be parallel to the floor. That's going to activate different muscles in the hip. That's what we're going after. I'm going to go for inward rotation now. This is usually the more challenging of the two directions. And we're using the floor to trap the body from rotating. There is a much harder version of this. I rarely do it. It's standing ankle circles, point flexes. You can imagine how difficult that is, especially if you're doing it against the wall, to try and either hold yourself up, but it's going to stop your body from rotating while you're under vertical load. And it's a tough move to do. It is really tough. I don't even give it to you guys because there's a tendency to have a lot of beginners, and I don't want to give them something that's so difficult to do. But maybe I will at one point. Maybe I will. Haven't done it in a long time. All right, I'm going to go to the point flexes next. And that's a bit of a misnomer because when you take the ankle through the two different directions, we're not circling it anymore. We're going to go point flex, make it act like a lever. Both directions are actually called flexion. Medically, this is plantar flexion and this is dorsiflexion. So to say point flex is a misnomer. It's like when people incorrectly say you're flexing your muscles. Well, the muscles don't flex. the muscles contract, only the joints flex and extend. Just a reminder, pay attention to the leg that's on the floor. Is your kneecap pointed towards the ceiling? Are your toes pointed towards the ceiling? You want both of them to be pointed towards the ceiling. And you're going to use your hip muscles to do that. Muscles around your hip. So you're going to take a little internal rotation. Don't let that leg flop out on the floor. I am going to switch because I think that's about 40. It's tough. Over the years, I've had to learn how to just time my movements because I'm talking so much. I'm going to pull my left leg in. Reminder, make sure the ankle, knee, and hip stay in the same line. Don't let your knee come out to the side. Leg that's on the floor, knee and toes point towards the sky. On our working leg here, the knee, where we pulled it in towards our chest. Another reminder, you want to keep the shin parallel to the floor. Try not to let your heel drop to your butt. Every now and then I take a look down my body because I feel like, gee, I'm off. I'm a little crooked. Good idea to double check. If something doesn't feel right, use your eyes. Check it out. Another reminder, you want to move with your toes as well. So think about your toes initiating the movement. It might feel crunchy. It might feel like you're not actually getting a whole round piece of pie here. You're kind of cutting it off and you get this, maybe a cylinder or a square or a triangular pie. You want to get all the way around that pie tin, big circle, without moving your knee. I'm going to take inward rotation now. You don't have to go out first. You can go in first. But one of the other therapists that I've met over the years, he said we have a tendency to go duck-footed with our feet. So he usually does inward rotation last so that the body will have a tendency to bring the feet in. It was a pretty good hypothesis. So that's just the sequence that I give it to you in now. Oh, this side is so tired. See, Kim took a break there. As you do this, you might feel this tightening up. That's not the muscles, that's the fascia that's tightening up. It's the non-Newtonian fluid that flows within the fascia itself. It's supposed to be fluid, but it starts to tighten up when it's overworking in a certain area and it's trying to help out the muscle so it can conserve energy. Point flexes are next. Oh, gosh, I can't believe it. I need another break. Anybody else feel that? The burning, and then it just tightens up and you're not quite moving well anymore. That is fascia. I know I got some stuff going on my left side. More than likely, you guys have a difference between your left and right too. That's okay. We're cleaning that up. Caught myself being lazy too. Maybe you're being lazy. So you might be taking your point flexes into a range that's like, yeah, okay. Really accentuate that motion. Point like a ballerina, like your life depends on it. You want to get past that point, make it feel like it's challenging. Ankle circles, point flexes. Gosh, I'm tired. Ooh-wee. This one can take a while, but it's worth it. And this is one of the moves. If you're stuck on a desert island and there was only 3 moves that you could do, this is one of them. This one, cats and dogs, and I'll think about the other one. Okay, let's take it into frog. Your legs will thank me. So we're going to take the legs into frog, whether you're sitting in a chair or you're laying on the floor or on a bed. You're going to take the soles of your feet together and let the legs drop open. We're going to spend a couple of, ow, I keep doing that. Going to spend a couple of minutes here. There's a rock here. Ouch. So we're going to rest here for a minute in frog. And then we're going to get to work after that. We'll go into the shoulders and do work there. I just reached for my roll for those of you that just watched me do that. I put a roll underneath my lower back. Not everybody needs that. This could be a rolled up towel. You don't want it any wider than about 3 inches, 4 inches tops. You want it to be pretty tight, because what we're doing is we're trying to create a curve in the lower back only for those people whose lower backs have a tendency to go flat. Your body will tell you. Your body will tell you if it gets uncomfortable, it doesn't feel right, the roll is not for you. Lovely. We're going to take this into frog pullovers and some more work with the arms. If you're okay and you're still in frog position with me, reach the hands up to the sky, palms touch, fingers interlace. Make sure your elbows stay straight. We're dropping your fists backwards overhead behind you. Do not bend your elbows. This is a movement for your shoulders, and that will translate down through your back into your hips, which is why I'm staying in frog position. If this position hurts you, you can point your knees up towards the sky. In fact, if you wanted to, you could even sit up. You could even skip this move if you want. If you want to just do the arms, go for that. No excuses, just get creative. Okay, we're going to move this into goalposts. If you're still okay staying in frog position, then stay there. But if not, you could take your legs to the hook line position. You can even rest your legs on a chair in the static back position. I'm going to sit up so I could show you guys what goalpost looks like. We're going to take the arms into a goalpost position, and we're going to rotate only through the shoulders. So we're keeping a 90-degree angle in our elbows, and we're going to rotate. It's going to look like this from the bird's eye view, because I'm going to lay back down on the floor and do this with you. When you notice and I rotate forward and my palms come towards the floor, both of my shoulders, the glenohumeral joint, it's going to pitch upward towards the ceiling. You want that because on your back, your shoulder blades are coming off. They're winging off. So we're doing this rotating with the shoulder blades. Lay back down. I'm taking it into frog, but you can take whatever leg position works for you. Make sure your elbows are on a nice straight line across through your chest, just like I showed you. I keep my palms open because that reminds me not to bend my wrists. I keep my fingers spread. And this is just called goalposts. You can do this even sitting in a chair with your elbows against the wall. You could sit against the wall. Turn your chair 90 degrees so the back of the chair is not against the wall. Go ahead and sit in it. Put your shoulders against the wall. Put your butt against the wall. Again, I'm repeating myself. No excuses. Get creative. If you're watching this and you're chair bound, get it done. If this is hurting some of you, it should be a gentle motion. You can just take your shoulders into circles, shrugs, or you can skip it. You can just lay in frog position. You can go back to a move that worked for you. Go back to ankle circles, point flexes. That's not going to kill you. Do 100. We're going to use our pullovers as a functional test though. So I am going to go touch on that again and see what these goalpost exercises did for my shoulders and for my back. So I'm going to check it out. Take myself into the position I was when I did my pullovers and see what changed. How does it feel? Just a functional test, ladies and gentlemen. Usually we've increased our range of motion. If you're okay, I'm now going to take you into static extension position, and we're going to do chest openers in static extension. We're also going to do ankle squeezes in static extension position. So that's a little bit different than we usually do because I'm killing 2 or 3 birds with one stone. If static extension position stinks for you and your arms hurt or you can't get on your knees, you can definitely get this done against the wall. So all I'm doing is trapping my body against the floor and loading my shoulders. If this hurts for you, you're just going to place your hands on the wall, same way with the elbow straight, and you're going to do what I'm going to show you right now. So we're going to add chest openers to this. It looks like this. I want you to watch my elbow creases. I got them tattooed for you so you can see them. Kidding. Okay, so when we're in the static extension position, our shoulders come back and down, right? Watch my elbow creases if you can see. I'll come even closer. So I'm rotating them so my creases go in and out. I'm gonna come a little bit closer so you guys could really see that. I think that's better for you. Okay, so when I drop in, my elbow creases in, out, in, out. Notice I'm not doing that with my shoulders. So these are called chest openers. I'm not lifting my shoulders up towards my ears. It's not this, it's not an elevation. It's a rotation. In, out, in, out. You can do that on a wall, just like I said. It's almost like waving, except your hands are gonna stay in place. So come on over. Either you're doing that with your hands against the wall, or you're going to do this in the static extension position with me, your choice. And I know a couple of you who have anterior pelvic tilts, and static extension position tends to really accentuate the lower back pain. This is not a move for you. Go ahead and do it against the wall. So drop in static extension position. And now your elbow creases, just like I showed you, in, out, while you keep your shoulders back and down. So I'm on my hands and knees. In fact, I don't even care if you guys are in the just hands under shoulders and knees under hips, because we're doing these chest openers. Doesn't even matter. So if you know static extension position, take it. You want to keep the shoulders back and down, twist in and out. I haven't done these in a hag's age, but I need them. Elbows stay straight, yes. I am going to take my my block and I'm going to do static extension ankle squeezes as well. I'm not going to continue with my chest openers because it's going to be like a patting the belly and rubbing the head or circling the bed, whatever the heck it is, going to screw it all up. So I'm just going to do one exercise. If you cannot get on hands and knees, what you can do is take your strap and you can put your legs through your strap. Either sit down in a chair or lay down on the floor and just push out on the strap with your knees. Everybody else, if you're still with me, we're still in the static extension position. I'm putting my pillow in between my ankles. So static extension is, and we're going to hang out here for a minute to do these reps. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips. You're going to walk your palms to where your fingertips are. Tiny little move. And then put your shoulders back on top of your wrists. Drop your shoulder blades together. Squeeze your block over and over. Over and over. So what we're going after here, if you'll feel this, your femurs, your upper thigh bones are rotating out as we do the squeeze. We're trying to get a hold of the glutes. So if you're doing this in another position, another way to access the glutes is either to do glute squeezes, or you could sit in your chair, like I said, put the strap around your knees and push out on the strap. You'll notice the same thing is going on here as you squeeze in onto the block Both femurs want to externally rotate. The butt is supposed to do that. That being said, this is not a glute squeeze. We want to get the butt to activate on its own by pushing in onto the block. For some of us, because we're under such load underneath the hip, the butt just doesn't want to do its work. But if we do about 60 of these, usually it starts to turn on to some degree. How many of you feel your thighs trying to do the work instead of your butt? How many of you feel the hamstring trying to do the work instead of your butt? Over and over, a few more squeezes. I'm going to do some standing work. Remember, we're still in static extension position, so keep your shoulders back and down. You don't have to incredibly accentuate the curve in your back, but we do want to trap the shoulders. Okay, finished out with that. I'm going to take you to the wall. We're going to do standing wall twist. If standing stinks for you or you can't stand, highly doubtful that you're taking this class with me, but maybe you are. You can sit in a chair and just twist your upper body in one direction. For everybody else, I'm taking my socks off. They're going to make me slide. We're going to use the wall or a door for this one. So I want you to stand about a forearm's distance away from the wall. It's about 8 to 10 inches. And the foot that's towards the inside of the room, the center of your room, whatever that is, for me, it's my right leg. I'm going to put that one in front. And I'm touching heel to toe, like I'm standing on a balance beam. And now I'm going to balance like I'm on a balance beam. I want to distribute my weight between the front and the back foot. And then just turn your chest towards the wall. I'm keeping my hands not the same height as my shoulders, but much wider than my shoulders, if you notice. Much wider than my shoulders. And what I'm actually starting to feel is we're trapping the one shoulder blade against the wall, so it goes back and down. With your elbows and hands in this position, it has no choice, so hopefully you're feeling that. It's like half of your body is going through this incredible push-up. And back in the day when I was learning this, this routine, I actually used to do push-ups elevated like this. So my legs would be up on a block and they'd be twisted like this, and I'd actually do push-ups like this. Maybe I should get back to doing that. My New Year's resolution. Again, keep your weight distributed evenly. What you should be feeling is the one shoulder blade is really coming back and down. We're almost in this mid push-up position. No bent knees. Thighs stay tight here. It's actually really good prep for push-up. You know how we do our push-ups against the wall sometimes? That's great prep. So if you can't do push-ups all the way down on the floor, do them on the wall. All right, I'm going to switch my side, do my Michael Jackson turn. But again, we're doing the leg that's towards the inside of the room. That one goes forward. Touch your toe to your heel. And we're going to twist our body towards the wall. Remember, try to distribute your weight evenly. 1 minute. Keep both of your heels on the ground. I just noticed my back heel wanted to lift. So I'm just going to keep that sucker on the ground. I've been standing all weekend, so my legs are just killing me. I'm taking another test, an exam at the end of the week. Maybe in 2 weeks. And I'm doing all this chart plotting and all weekend standing. My legs are killing me, so this feels Very different than usual. Very different. Okay, come out, everybody. We're just going to do 1 minute air bench against the walls. We put a lot of twisting into the body. We want to make sure that it's nice and straight again. So air bench is putting your back either against the door or against the wall. Move this out of the way so you can see. And you're going to walk your legs away from you so that you're sitting in this imaginary chair. Now it's down to you how high your hips are as they relate to your knees. And if you're starting to feel that, oh, my knees hurt, then maybe you want to bring your hips a little bit higher than your knees. But you do want your knees and your ankles to be hip distance when you do this. We're going to hold it for 1 minute. You want to be able to see your ankles, friends. You want to be able to see your ankles. So I don't want your ankles underneath your knees. This is not a 90-degree angle hold. My feet are away from my knees further than my knees are. And that way I can push my lower back into the wall. So this is quite a quadricep workout. You'll feel both of your thighs. And the point of this move is to use your femurs and the muscles to kind of slam your pelvis into the wall. So any rotation that we've created with the last move, now using strength, it's out. That's why you want to pay attention to pushing your lower back flat against the wall, then turn on the juice. All right, we're going to take it back to the wall. I am going to start you on this toughie workout. You're going to love it. Don't be scared. Any push-ups we do, we're going to do them against the wall. And we're going to do one-armed push-ups today. Yay! So I'm going to take you through 10 wall push-ups. No big deal. Everybody's got a wall. Everybody's got a door. I don't really care how you get these done. Just put a smile on your face. I'm going to put your hands on the wall. I'm just going to squeeze out 10 push-ups. In this style, I want you to try to think of keeping your ankles, knees, and hips in a straight line. And if you're going to do it in this style like I usually do, I want you to try to keep your shoulders back and down as we do it. So don't round forward and do your push-ups like this. If anybody has ever seen the guy who's got the Guinness World Record for holding a plank, oh my God, does his form stink? It's the worst. So you're going to keep your shoulders back and down if you can. Feet are straight ahead. I'm going to do wall push-ups. Simple. The further your feet walk away from the wall, the harder this is going to be. Of course, if I walked all the way from the wall, I'd be flat on the floor doing a plank, which would be the most challenging. I'm going to take you over to your chair. We're going to do seated leg lifts and extensions, right? Easy, easy, easy stuff. She said this is going to be such a hard workout. It's coming. Seated leg lifts and extensions. If you notice while you're doing this that your knees are either diving in or diving out, it's starting to look like this or like this, just take your pillow or your block and put it in between your legs. We want to keep this nice and symmetrical. So if you notice that that's happening to you, go ahead and put your block or pillow between your legs. Seated leg lifts. If you can, try to sit in extensions. So I'm actually rolling my pelvis forward so I have a little arch in my lower back. But granted, when you start lifting up your legs, that arch is going to happen anyway, just due to the muscle that we're triggering to turn on. Now, this is a toughie. I am going to add extensions to this. If this is too difficult for you to do, you can do one leg at a time and just sit down, lift, lift for 5, and then lift for 5 on the other side. I am going to add extensions to it though. So I'm lifting, extending, coming back in and down. You add whatever you feel. If you got to lift one leg at a time, that's cool too. And if you get really good, you don't even need to hang on with anything. You've got balance. Balance is just your body's ability to recruit all of the muscles that it's designed so that it can hold its balance. Think about it. If you're not able to recruit your glutes, like before we were doing the ankle squeezes, and your butt wasn't turning on, your body can't use those muscles accordingly, and it can't hold its balance. So balance is a little bit more than just what your nervous system is doing. It's a little more than that. We are going to do 50 of these. We're not just going to squeeze out 10. I probably did 12 or so. We're going to go back to the wall. Yeah, not so bad, right? So those are leg lifts and extensions. We're going back to the wall for some one-arm push-ups. Now, when you do this, it's going to be interesting because we're going to face the center of the room. We're going to keep the hand about the same height as the shoulder. This is going to be interesting, one side to the other. You're just going to lean in and push away. Try to keep your feet hip distance, but smile. I'd rather you have fun than worry so much about, oh, I'm doing it right. Am I doing it wrong? What does my form look like? Leaning in as close as you can and push away. We're going to do 10 each side. This side stinks. Oh, that's hard. Ugh. My other side is much stronger. This side's a toughie. I tell you, it's so easy to get frustrated with yourself if you've kind of broken down and and you've listened to somebody else's advice and it pertains to your body and the results weren't 100%. You start double checking yourself. Darn it, I knew I shouldn't have done that. Going over a year here and I still don't have full use of this arm. So it does get frustrating. Okay, I'm gonna switch to the other side. Remember, the further away you walk from the wall, the harder it's gonna be. Try to keep your hands shoulder height. Excellent. Come away, everybody. Step ups are next. I want you to grab your chair. We'll come nearby your chair. I am going to do full-on step ups. So when I do take my step, I'm going to bring the other leg up, all the way up towards my chest. If that bothers you and you can't do that, or if you don't have a chair to jump up on, or you don't even want to step up on anything, you can pretend. So you can put your hands behind your head, draw your elbows back, pretend you're stepping on something and stepping back down. Just pretend. So I'm going to do 10 each leg. So I'm going to put my hands behind my head and draw my elbows back. I want to keep the upper back in extension. If that bothers you, put your hands on your shoulders and draw your elbows back. Again, we want to keep the shoulder blades coming back and down. That's going to tell our hips to do something a little bit different. That's what we're going after. So 10 step ups. I place my foot on my block or my chair. I put my weight on it, and my other leg comes up towards my chest and back down. 10, 9, 8. You don't have to do that lift up. Maybe you're here and you just tap. Maybe you step up and you kind of tap for a little bit of balance. That's okay. 6, elbows back. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm going to my other side. Step up, lift up, either tap or knee to chest. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, elbows back. 4, 3, 2, 1. Come back to your chair. We're going to sit on it for some leg raises. The leg's going to be straight with this one. This one's not easy. If this is too difficult to use both legs, you can do one leg, just like I showed you before. But I want you to keep the leg straight for this one. Let me show this side. The ankle comes into dorsiflexion, so you're pulling your toes towards you. Knee is locked out, thigh is tight. So all of this work now goes into your hip. So you can lift up like so, go 5 one side, 5 the other side, or maybe you're with me, both legs straight out, lift and lower. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stand up for a weird one. I don't know why the heck this one's called what it's called. It's weird. It's called the people's elbow. I don't know. So you keep one arm down at your side. I'm going to use my left leg. Keep that down, left arm stay down at the side. And the other hand, I'm going to put behind my head. So I'm going to keep my elbow drawing back and down. And I'm going to pick up the same leg on that same side. So my right leg and my right elbow are going to bend. I'm going to pick it right up. I'm going to go for 10. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Now I'm going to throw you off balance. 2, 1. That same side, we're now going to touch the elbow to the knee. Same side, same side. And go for another 10. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. A little tougher. Other side. So if you're okay with just lifting up the leg and keeping the shoulder back, I'm going to stay there for 10. 8, 7, shoulders back. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now go for the twist. Elbow touches knee. 10, 9. Forgot to mention, I'm not bringing the elbow in through the shoulder. I'm twisting my torso to get it done. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Weird one, right? 3, 2, 1. Back to an air bench. I'm going to hold this one for 5 breaths, everybody. Air bench for 5. And since we're hitting this for the second time, we're going to use it as a functional test just for yourself. Check it out. How do you feel? Is it different this time? 5 breaths. Remember, lower back hits the wall, thighs turn on. Does it feel easier now? Does it feel, maybe it feels harder. I don't know, but it certainly can't be the same. It just can't be. Because of all that input we just gave the body, it can't be the same. It just can't be. All right. Ugh. Come on out. Not too bad, right? All right. I'm going to take it to the floor. Gotta roll in my mat here. All right. I am going to give you floor frog with lift. This one's weird. Another weird one. So we're going to keep the feet together. I'm going to hold them together. Again, if you can't do this on the floor, you're just going to sit in a chair or lay on a bed. I'm going to lay down, but I'm going to lift the legs while I keep pressing the soles of my feet together. If you want, you can also add the, well, let's call it the posture style crunch. So I'm going to keep the elbows back and down, and you could add the crunch to it. But what I'm going after is keeping the feet pressing together. Oh, here comes the cramp. Darn it. My left side loves the cramp. And lifting. Again, if you want to add the crunch to it as well, just find that spot on the ceiling behind you and keep staring at it. Do not lose that. And you can add the crunch. So you want to keep the upper body in extension while you do this work. If you can, squeeze out 20. If not, do 1. I wonder if any of you got a hamstring cramp while you were pushing the soles of your feet together, just like I did. So again, that's a glute not wanting to fire, and instead you're compensating using the hamstring. But usually after a cramp like that, it will work its way up into the right area. So that's what we're hoping for. All right, stay there. Stay there. Crab lift is next. This move stinks, especially for people who have shoulder issues. It's difficult for me, but it doesn't hurt. So if this is a problem for you, I'll give you something different. You can either do frog pullovers, you could do cross crawl, but I'll show you what a crab lift is. It's this one. So our shoulders are coming into this crazy position. If you've got shoulder pain, it's going to take the shoulders into that forwardly pitched position under load. So if you've got a problem there, maybe you want to do something instead that looks like this, like our cross crawl. So arm and leg, opposites, reaching back. And that's going to be more gentle on your shoulder. You could even do some sort of pullover. Everybody else, we're going to do some crab lifts. We're not going to walk with it. If you want to, you can. You can walk your crab, but I'm just going to do 20 crab lifts. So I like to place my hands sometimes pointing away from me. That's going to change the way your shoulder works. And maybe I'll do 10 there and 10 here. Your choice. I'm not going to kill you one way or the other. Crab lifts. 10, 9, again, I'm going for 20. 8, 7. If you can't get this done on the floor, you could certainly get this done in a chair. It kind of looks like a tricep dip, right? So that's another modification. You don't have to do it on the floor. You guys are probably up to 5 more on this side. I see some of you doing your cross crawl. So this is similar to this. So crab lift could be here, but still it can hurt the shoulder if you've got injuries. So cross crawl for you. Now I'm going to change the position of my hands and go for another 10. 10, 9, it's legs and arms working here. 8, 7, 6. Other version of this could be a bridge, which we're going to do again right after this anyway. 4, 3, 2, 1. Everybody get down on the ground or on your bed. I want you to grab a block. We're going to put it in between the legs. I'm going to leave the shoulders out of it for our bridge. Those of you who just did cross crawl, you just helped to prep yourself for our bridge. When you do bridge, I want you to keep your feet in line with your hips as always. Try to keep your feet pointed straight ahead. They are staying parallel. I'm going to squeeze out 25 bridges. Now, if you've done this with me in the past and you've used a block, maybe now you want to try and use a strap. In fact, I'm thinking I'll give you 25 bridges here, and then we're going to use the strap and do 25 more. Why not? You can do this sitting in a chair, but it's going to be a little weird. You would still have to support your hands on a chair to get this done as far as a bridge. Not a bad idea to just sit in a chair and just squeeze the block or pillow repetitively over and over. Turn it into a sitting knee pillow squeeze. Some of you might be feeling an awful lot of this in your thighs. If that's the case, your heels are probably way too close to your butt. If you walk your feet away from you, what we want to recruit is hamstrings, glutes, and your back. We want to teach the body how to get into hip extension, not knee extension. So we want to recruit the muscles on the back of the body. It's what we're going after here. And if you don't feel that and you feel a lot of thigh, when we switch to using the strap, you're probably going to start feeling your butt turn on. That's why we're going to switch in a second. Got 5 more. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, take your strap. I'm going to put the strap around the legs, just like a dress. Make sure your ankles and your knees stay in line with your hips. Told you we were going to do some work today. Keep it in line. Keep your feet parallel, straight ahead, straight ahead. All right, give a little press out onto the strap. You want to have tension on your strap. My strap is a little too tight. And we're going for 25 bridges with the strap. Feels different, right? You might have to do this on a bed if you can't get down on the floor with me to do it. But worst comes to worst, you can just sit in a chair and just press out repetitively on the strap over and over. You can do that. 3, 2, 1. Now you could feel. Did you like the strap better? Did you like the block better? Why did you like it better or not? Interesting things to know. Oh boy, that's a good one. We're going to do a forward fold bend next. I got a routine lined up for us. That's why I keep checking my book. I'm going to stand up, everybody. Forward fold bend. We're going to do the real old school one with the work. So it's not just hanging out and just feeling a stretch. So you're going to use a block or a chair, put it in front of you, because most of us cannot hold the form that I'm asking you for while you're doing the forward fold. So if that's the case, which is like me now, my legs are so tight from yesterday, you might have to put a chair in front of you. So we're going to do a split leg forward fold. Going to keep the feet parallel. You know, open up your legs as wide as you can while still staying in control. But if you notice, when you do that and you forward fold, your hips are going to go behind your heels just to stay balanced. I don't want that. What I want you to do is keep the hips in line vertically with your heels, which means you got to lean on something or else you're going to fall forward. Now, most of us can't touch the ground while we're doing this move, which is why we're putting something in front of us, because the form that I want you to adhere to is an anterior tilt in your pelvis. I want your hip flexor to kick on. So you're going to think about putting a little arch into the lower back. That's what's required to get the body to fold forward. Otherwise, it just flexes from the spine and you can't reach. How many of you know people who try to touch their toes and they look like this? There's no movement coming from their hips. So we want to flex at the hip, which means this. So if you can touch the floor while you do that, fabulous. But if you can't, keep that form and just come up a little bit higher and use a chair to help you. I'm actually better off than I thought I would be. 1 minute. So still, I'm working on keeping the arch in my lower back by pulling my pelvis into the anterior tilt. Doesn't matter what my back is doing, but once my back starts rounding, I know my pelvis probably stopped doing its work. So that's why if you can still keep a flat back, your pelvis is probably still doing its work and you're staying in form. Thighs are tight, feet are parallel, just holding here. A lot of that weight should be forward. That's going to tell you that your hips are still in line with your heels. Great. Come out, everybody. I'm going to take you into overhead extension. We haven't done this one in a long time. It's one of the oldies and goodies. You can do this sitting in a chair, but I'm going to do it standing. Remember, when we do this move, we want this extension to come from the shoulders. I don't want spinal extension. Don't want you to lean back and let your hips fail forward. So you want to stay pretty straight. Think about having an imaginary wall behind you. But if you did have the wall behind you, actually, it's going to stop your hands from moving. So we're going to interlace your hands, and you're going to press your palms away from you. Feet are parallel, like always. We're just going to move through the shoulders. So you have to go slow enough so that you notice, okay, it's just my shoulders moving. I'm not starting to bail forward and bend backward. We're going to hold this one for a minute. This is standing overhead extension. Again, this is not about arching through your back. This is about standing normally with your feet pointed straight. Keep your elbows locked and teach your shoulders how to move. I used to be able to come directly overhead. This is quite frustrating for me that I can't, but I want you to come as high as you can without bending your elbows. So now I'm in the boat where many of you I catch where you start bending your elbows or you start moving forward. Nope, don't do it. No cheaters. I'm not cheating. I don't want you to cheat either. I know this workout sounded like it was scary with all the push-ups and stuff, but it wasn't too bad, was it? I'm not even really sweating. Hope it wasn't too terrible. Lovely. I'm going to take you into cats and dogs. I'm going to take it to the floor for that one. If you want to do it on the chair, you can. So you can sit in a chair. All we're doing is flexing the spine and extending the spine. That's it. So I'm going to load myself up, hands under shoulders, knees under hips. All that work that we just did, even through your shoulders, they should be moving just like we were working before. Protraction, retraction. Smiley face, rainbow. That's all I'm doing with my back, and my head is following. Get really down to brass tacks. I'm initiating this move from my hips and finishing with my head. Lovely. You're going to love me today. Static back. Couple minutes. We'll end there. Static back is putting your legs up on something, an ottoman, a whole bunch of pillows, a cooler. Get your Coleman out, dust that thing off. We want to trap the body at 90-degree angles and use the floor to reduce our rotation. That's it. A couple minutes here. I did a workout once and they ended with a 1-minute static back. I'm sorry, did you mean 1 hour? No, it was 1 minute. Lovely. 1 more minute, everybody. Still trying to figure out why they call that the people's elbow. Stupidest thing. Whatever. This is a routine that I took. I stole it. It feels good. I hope you found something today that you enjoyed, that you found was beneficial, despite its challenge. Sometimes it's the really challenging moves that we take on. We realize, wow, my body is all the better for that. If I can just do 5 of those a day or 10 of those a day, I'd be on my way to feeling better. It's tough to accept that challenge sometimes. You need a horrible person like me to force you to do it. I hope it wasn't too bad today, everybody. I'll beat you up next time. Thank you for joining me today, and hope everybody had a great holiday, and I'll catch you next time.